I've noticed today over the internet and the zeitgeist of modern media, people have grown embarrassed to talk about their faith in God, to talk about their faith at all. Now, as an atheist, as a former atheist, that is, I have a unique perspective on that because for me, talking about my belief in God, my newfound faith, after having been so long, nearly 10 years now, nearly 10 years, I think. I was around 12 years old when I first started having doubts in God. And it's rather hard to say because it wasn't an instant process. There was no snap today, maybe I was wrong about not believing in God. It first started with me quite a few years ago, having the idea that although God doesn't have obvious evidence in the materialist world for his existence, that doesn't mean he doesn't exist. And this was something almost from the very beginning, that even at the very beginning as an atheist, the tools, the seeds that would eventually allow me to find faith in Christ and God were sown almost. And it's rather interesting to think about now. But because of that, I look back and I look at how people don't talk about their faith in God. They don't talk about how their faith in God helps them overcome challenges nowadays. And this isn't entirely true. It's more that the people who talk about those sort of things aren't popular, so to speak. Their voices aren't heard, or at least their voices aren't heard by me. Now, perhaps this isn't true. Perhaps it's merely that because so many years ago I watched so many videos on atheism that YouTube decided that I liked videos on atheism and decided not to show me videos on Christianity. And this is a symptom of a growing problem in modern media, in the internet, in that people are shown things that agree with them, but not things that disagree with them. Partly because this is shown, at least in the short term, to increase people's, so to speak, consumption of modern media, which improves the profits of the company involved. And this, I think, is very important because modern media, social media, the internet, have become the modern public forum. They've become the modern public square. They are where voices are heard. And in the past, people talking to each other, their culture, their way of speaking, their human brain, so to speak, and how it processes speech and language and that sort of thing, were in themselves a way of regulating this in a very healthy manner. And I would argue that different languages approach this in different ways. For example, in Japan, there is a very, very strong pressure to bow to the public consensus, so to speak. So if you go out against the public consensus, if you speak out against what is publicly acceptable, what is socially acceptable, you are very quickly forced to bow to that pressure in Japan. And I think this is sort of a way, almost like language is an operating system for modern social thought. I mean, you see this in how people who speak different languages almost have a different personality when they speak different languages. And I think that is very important to the issues we face today. Now, the second part of this video, I'm going to be talking about how I feel that people these days don't seem to approach challenges in the same way they used to. A lot of people nowadays don't have faith in God, but even the people that do, I find, don't speak about how that faith helps them overcome challenges. And a lot of people seem to miss the fact that even if you're an atheist, even if you don't have something to find faith in, that simply having utmost determination in the things you do and not giving up is a very healthy way of doing things. It's a way that is almost guaranteed to eventually succeed. Because if you try and try and try again, whether that is because of your faith in God or because of your determination to the task, you're eventually going to succeed. And I think a lot of people seem to miss that being an atheist isn't something that seems to work despite not having faith in God, because people are intelligent, because they're smart. Because the truth is that being intelligent, being smart, that doesn't make you more motivated. That doesn't make you more determined. I mean, some of the most determined and unstoppable people in the world, some of the most hardworking people are very, you might call them foolish or stupid. or conspiracy theorists, or all sorts of things. But these sorts of people that don't, I mean, conspiracy theorists is a great example of that, because they are lambasted again and again as foolish, as crazy and stupid, and yet they can continue to stick to their beliefs. And that, in a way, is a form of success. And I would argue that because of this current idea that you don't need religion unless you're stupid, that a lot of people have basically sabotaged themselves and sabotaged their lives. Now, whether this is actually the case or not, we'll have to look into evidence now, won't we? Tune in again next time, and maybe we'll have a look at some of that, eh? Have a good one. This is Commander Dante, out.